Calamina, 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 Galamera, Galamera, Galamera. It is the first of the month, and can't believe we're in March. Can you? My God, where did February go? And even though it was the shortest month of the year, it still felt like it whistled by. Anyway, looking at the weather today, I'm afraid the weather is on the turn. Can I just thank Amanda? She sent me a weather forecast early this morning. It looks like we're going to get 15-degree temperatures with rainy showers being forecast as well. I know people in the UK have been saying it's been getting bitterly cold over there again. We're expecting a change of weather here, expecting snow in the north of the country, believe it or not. But the weather today is looking a bit grim. I'm looking above, that's the clouds above the house at the moment. So yeah, it looks like we might be in for a little bit of rain. And of course, it being the first of the month, you've got things to sort out and do here. And so I will be going into town to post some letters and do some stuff like that. But yeah, God, looking at it there, cloudy as well, not looking nice. Bit of a wind blowing as well. I don't know if you can hear that on the mic. But probably better weather than what you're having in the UK at the moment as well. And I've got to be honest, I've just realised I've come out without my little jacket on, and I am feeling a little bit chilly actually, to be quite honest. But anyway, that's the weather. Let's crack on with the news. There's been quite a bit been going on within the last 24 hours here in Greece, and basically with what's happening. So let's just quickly click round. Thanks for those people who are tuning in. Steve Hinkling, nice to see you. He says white rabbits. What's he on about? White rabbits? And it doesn't matter. Just turning the screen round, and let's have a quick look at the COVID stats for today. Right, okay, so it's the 1st of March today, believe it or not. 115 days in lockdown, Calamina, and the weather forecast from the lovely, what's her name? Amanda. Cloudy with some light rain showers, highs of 15 degrees, and both pups are at the vets and not very healthy. That's the reason why she did this early this morning and sent it to me, so bless her for doing that, especially if you're listening back on your repeat on YouTube or on Facebook. Anyway, let's have a look at the COVID infections for the last 24 hours. Now, at the moment, things are on their way down at the moment. 1,269 new infections were recorded yesterday. That was down on the day before, where there was 1,630. So that's a positive. That means at the moment we've had a total of 191,000 infections, 191,100 since the pandemic started. 51% of those are male, and that is down again at the moment. Also as well, we've had one new case as well, which was identified at border checks. That was down from 5 on the previous day. And according to the national stats at the moment, there were 2 new cases in Macardo. Remember, they are in a situation yellow. There were 3 new cases in Kefalonia. They're in situation red. 4 new cases on Corfu, they're also in yellow, and there was 2 new cases recorded nationally on the stats in Zakynthos. However, locally on the ground, we actually had 4 yesterday. Yep. Apart from the 2 that were made known, that was a 40-year-old and a 33-year-old earlier in the day. There was another 2 cases later in the day, one of which was a 22-year-old woman who went to the hospital. She tested positive in the afternoon, suffering the symptoms, and obviously she was then put into 14-day quarantine and isolation at home. Anyway, there was also a 91-year-old woman yesterday who was also taken to hospital. She had respiratory problems, and it was deemed necessary to transport her to the COVID clinic where she was at the last count being tested. So at the moment, we've got now, or we've had since the beginning of the year, 105 positive cases. 70 cases for February, so we're going to wait and see how many cases we'll start to get for the month of March. So there you go. We had 4 positives yesterday. The stats are saying 2 on the national scale, so we'll see if that does a catch up tomorrow. Anyway, when it comes to deaths, unfortunately deaths are up slightly. Last I reported to you, we had 29 new deaths across the country. And at the moment, as of yesterday, we've had 36 new deaths. Anyway, that brings a total death toll since the pandemic started to 6,504. The average age of them, 79 years of age, and 96% of those people had underlying health conditions or were over the age of 70. And again, just to put that in context, 2019, the average death rate in Greece was about 329 people. And just to remind you again, we've only had one death related to COVID on the island since the beginning of the year. And again, we'll keep an eye on that stat figure as well. When it comes to critical cases, and this is something that the government is now starting to bang on about, and I will come to that in a tick, that is up slightly. There were 379 people across Greece in ICUs, and at the moment now there are 391 across Greece in ICUs. 269 of those are male and 110 of those are female. The average age of people in ICUs at the moment is normally around about 68 years of age, and they have underlying health issues or are over the age of 70. And 86% of those people have underlying health conditions. Anyway, today's news then. This is quite interesting at the moment. This is what's been said. The pressure being endured by the Greek health service is still causing concern for the Greek government, and especially in the Attica area, as it approaches the critical levels of last November, and the number of new infections remains stubbornly high. Anyway, with further restrictive measures the government imposed on red areas of the country not yet delivering the desired results. The government hopes that an extension of measures until March will start to have a positive effect on the epidemiology data, which to me is it's not working, boys, is it? So what it means, you've got to lock down more. Now, interestingly, the normal blame is to blame people coming from outside in. So 1 minute they're now saying it's not working at the moment with this extended lockdowns and everything else. So then, as of today, March the 1st, the restrictions in place at the country's land borders, all right, for Albania and also Bulgaria, they are now going to reopen those checkpoints from 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, with a reduction in the number of people allowed to enter the country from 700 to 400. Anyway, all those entering have to undergo mandatory COVID-19 tests and also quarantine for 14 days, excluding freight drivers. Anyway, but the point of that is that there's hardly any infection coming through the borders anyway. When you look at the figures from that, why are you now lowering that when that is not the problem? The problem is people not doing as they're told. That's really the problem. People still not wearing their masks, not social distancing, people still in and out of each other's houses, people not following the lockdown regulations in movement around at night, people not booking out, checking out, all of that sort of stuff, not people coming in from outside. It, to me, smacks a bit of racism rather than it does to do with COVID at the moment. And also, it's like, oh, we're getting set up now for an even longer lockdown and shutdown, when, in fact, we should be trying to relax measures. Let's try and get things back going again. And let's be ready and open, ready for the summer. And also, let's get the vaccinations bloody well moving at the moment. That is the biggest issue at the moment. But anyway, some things don't have any logic behind them. And that's what I'm seeing at the moment. Cutting down the numbers on the borders, when the numbers on the borders haven't been that great anyway of people coming in. And why are freight drivers not being tested as well? So there you go. That's my little quibble at that, and for people to have a look at as well. Right. Yesterday, major event here yesterday. We had a bit of I hate the word earthquake. All right. Earthquake, when you use that phraseology, you immediately think of Pompeii you think of buildings crashing down, you think of people being killed in the streets, etc., like that. But I would call these more earth tremors, all right? Anyway, we had a 4.1 magnitude earth tremor yesterday. That's what the figure was, coming from the Geodynamic Institute in Athens. And it was 4.1 on the Richter scale. It happened about 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Jane and I just got back from our walk, actually. When it happened, and it was a little shake, rattle and roll, and that happened actually 13 kilometers northeast of Volos in Zakynthos, at a depth of approximately 10 kilometers down. Anyway, no reports of any damage, no reports of any injury. And just to put that into context as to how serious it was, if you think that back in 1953, the earthquake that virtually destroyed Zakynthos and Kefalonia was a 7.3. It was half the shake value, shall we say. But anyway, we're all still here and we're all happy and we just carry on. Anyway, another thing, just to remind you, as it is Monday, the 1st of March, for those people who are travelling into work, etc., a new certificate of movement for employees has to be raised by your employer. Make sure that you get your certificate sorted. Now, you're going to be allowed up until the 8th of the 3rd to get that done. And then these certificates, which you get them through the Ministry of Labour and Social Affairs on their website, former.gov.gr. You're reminded that from the Tuesday, the 9th of April, the companies are obliged to reissue, and they're doing these on a 14-day cycle. So anybody who has to get to work in the mornings or part of your job, make sure that you get your documentation sorted, or else otherwise you're going to end up getting fined trying to get to and from work. And another little bit of good news here for Zakynthos. All the news today seems to be local, to be quite honest. The mayor of Zakynthos, Mr. Arigtakis, in his position as the mayor of Zakynthos, has been given the job of taking over control and supervision of the LIVA Waste Management project. That is the big project here on the island with the landfill that's being built, and also the waste management complex that's being done. It's now been given to the municipality rather than the region to run it and sort it. The mayor has said he's very pleased that confidence has been shown towards the municipality, and that's been under a great deal of pressure with things or projects from the past that have come to bite him, as it were, on the ass, metaphorically speaking, where he's trying to sort out the mess that's been created from the past. Anyway, the mayor said he would pledge to allocate, if necessary, funds from the municipality to deliver a completed project in order to have a good result. He says he thanked the region for passing the project into his control. He said that there is no room for any failure. He said it is a project that will either bring out Zakynthos or it will destroy it. And it is something that is needed. If you think that the old landfill is actually in the area of the National Marine Park, that landfill has been closed and the rubbish has to go somewhere else. There's been a lot of work being done in the Livia area, like building of the road, digging out of the new landfill, and that is the location where the new waste management area is actually going to go and be placed. And so now the municipality has the responsibility of that, and he says that it is clear now from the company's point of view, talking about the municipality, that talking about the company who's going to build the actual waste management plant, from the point of view of the municipality, it will accept nothing less but a good project and an even project, and it wants it to come in as it should do. And so again, we'll keep an eye on that, because as you know, rubbish has been a big situation here on the island, and a lot of past, shall we say, mayors got basically elected on the grounds that how well they actually sorted the rubbish out. And interestingly, finally story today, another action towards cleaning the island was carried out by a group of volunteers, by the Green Activist Group, whose members cleaned the whole area behind the port, down in town where the port is. It's actually called Agios Chambrolis down there. Anyway, as a result, 30 volunteers were down there over weekend with 5 small children, and they managed to bag within a few hours 127 bags of 100 litres of rubbish, all kinds of garbage was collected by them, ready to be taken away. So that area should look a lot tidier around the back where the port is. And also sometimes when you look in the water around that area, there was always rubbish and stuff sort of floating about. Not sure whether they managed to get all of that out, but they certainly cleared up lots of rubbish from around there. Probably left over from when we had St Dennis's days, markets and there, that they've managed to clear that away. But anyway, good on them for that. Right, let's have a quick look, see who's tuning in at the moment. Once again, lots of people saying, Calomina, nice to see you. Happy first of the month. Lindsay Lamb is watching. Nice to see you as well. John Clifford, he says, pinch punch, first of the month. Thank you very much. Steve Hinkling in Stoke-on-Trent is watching. He said something about Gallimera White Rabbits. I'm totally lost on that. I haven't got a clue what he's on about. Christine Wildridge is watching. Shane Bowen is watching as well. Cheers for tuning in, you and also a few other people, including Steve from Stoke on the Northern Soul show on Beach Radio yesterday. It was very, very well attended, actually. I was really chuffed about that. So thanks for tuning in. Pete Atkins says 15 degrees Celsius. Poor you. Listen, mate, when your blood is as thin as ours is from all the years that we've lived over here, yes, we do feel the cold. Trust me. You'd be the same if you were over here. Your blood thins, you see, and you just don't... You get more susceptible to the cold. Anyway, thanks for that. Jerry Coyle is also watching as well. Sean Bowen says, Calomina, Ginge, Calomina. Thank you, Gallimera, Calomina. Thank you very much. Margaret Miller is watching as well. Yvonne Monroe is watching as well. Amanda Gregory is obviously back from the vets. Nice to see you. I hope the doggies are doing all right. Emma Marku in Essex is watching. Emma says, morning, Ginge, 1st of March. Hope it's a good month. So do we. We hope it's a good month as well as we inch closer to the beginning of a season. Amanda Gregory says, pups have gone down with severe parvo. Oh, God. They are at the vets. We'll ring the vet 8 p.m. for an update. Weather today, cloudy, possible light rain in the afternoon. Highs of 15 degrees. Have a good day. Thank you, my darling. There you go. Bless her. I hope the dogs are all right. I know they can live with Pavlo, but Pavlo is a big kind of disease here with stray dogs and stuff like that. So hopefully that will get sorted for you, my darling. John David Hester says, morning, Ginge. Hope you and Jane are okay. Yeah, we're good, man. John David Hester says, isn't 9th of April as Friday as it's my birthday too? Okay, I shall remember that. We'll stick you in the Golden Vault, all right? There you go, on the 9th of April. I'll put you in the Golden Vault. You've got a month yet. You've got another month till the 9th of April. Anyway, that's a while yet. But anyway, I'll remember. All right, just remind me closer to the date. Philip Ellis is watching as well. Dave Coldwell in the United States is watching. The lovely Susie Angus is watching as well. Mick Ling is also tuning in. He says, morning, Ginge. Andy Owen is watching as well. Nice to see you, Andy. Andy says, morning, Ginge. Sam Curtis from Brighton is also watching in as well. Thanks for tuning in the other day, fella. Greatly appreciated. And also... I think the Northern Soul show is probably going to get repeated tonight on Beats Radio. So if you missed it, you can always watch it again. And also the dance show might get repeated later in the week. I've not been told by Beats Radio at the moment, but I will let you know. Right, Sam says, morning, Ginge. Lovely and sunny here, but chilly, but warmer throughout the day. I'm off today. Lucky you. You've been off for months. Yeah, getting him back to work at Brighton County Council. Right, that's it from me. I hope you have a good day wherever you are. Have a safe day. Be good. And I'll keep my ear to the ground. If I hear anything, I'll let you know. Ta-ra.